Welcome to Families in Transit, a performative lecture by the Institute for the Art and Practice of Dissent at Home about the Great Transition.
Gary, please introduce us. They don't know who we are.
I know you have to introduce us, Dad. Yeah.
We are the Institute for the Art and Practice of Dissent at Home. We represent the nuclear family. I am the father. This is the mother. We have 3 children, Niall, Gabriel and Sid, aged 12, 10 and 5. We are nice. What are you laughing at? We are reliable and we are privileged. We work full-time jobs. Children go to school full-time. Children are relatively well behaved. We shop, we travel, and we generally consume. We are proper active citizens of our neoliberal empire. In some ways, we are the perfect capitalist unit. The mechanism through which consumer capitalism and our neoliberal economy finds its finest expression. It's poetry. We are the rhyming couplet of the current system ruining our planet. The sonnet of our destroyed hopes for a better future. The epic poem of our dashed hopes and dreams of a better life to come. We are the dirty limerick of the fossil fuel economy.
Oh, come on, Gary, it's not all our fault. Are you saying that single people are better?
No. Listen, there was a nice family from town who kept taking off from the ground. They consumed lots of oil until the world spoiled, then vanished from Earth without sound.
They're just so awful and preachy.
Yeah, Dad, you're such a sad dog.
We can change. We want to change. We want change. We are here to tell you how we can change. We've got flags and everything. By the end of this short piece, about 30 minutes, we'll all be waving the flags for the Great Transition. We've designed our own flags for the Great Transition.
Well, that's not strictly true, though. We got these flags made for the Liverpool Anarchist Communist Sunday School a few months ago. It's not nice to trick people, Gary, but you're always lying.
I'm not tricking them or lying, Lena. I'm letting people know that we are reusing, recycling these flags, letting their meaning carry over into another event. The Liverpool Anarchist Communist Sunday School would fit right into the Great Transition anyway. We need to... Sorry,
no, I was distracted.
We need to set up anarchist, communist, eco-warrior family schools across Europe. If you know any young people, are part of a family of any description, you can join.
Listen, just don't use this platform to advertise your other projects. Tell them we've come here from Liverpool and that we took the Virgin train, but after the Great Transition it will no longer be Richard Branson's train, it's going to be people's train. It's like Virgin trains.
Yeah, but we will still get the Virgin Kids fun packs on this new People's Train.
No, we will get the colouring in guides from the New Economics Foundation.
Okay, so I have a monologue here now about how the Virgin trains really need to go. When I was booking our train travel here, I made a mistake when when I was booking it, and instead of booking return tickets for tomorrow, I booked it for today. As a result of my mistake, we have unneeded and unused train tickets here that are going today at 15:07 back to Liverpool. Now, the Virgin wouldn't refund my train tickets, £49 just gone. So I wrote them a complaint letter, or email. I booked these tickets today, family trip to London. When booking the return tickets, I thought to have pressed next day for return travel, but either I didn't, or the server was faulty and I booked the wrong date, same day for return travel. I contacted Chat immediately, who told me to call customer services. Customer services told me that as my return ticket is advanced, they will charge me £10 per person per ticket and book new tickets for me. As the value of my tickets is less than charge for change, I realized I might as well just book new tickets myself via your or any other train website. I know you won't refund or change my ticket without incurring a large sum of money, and I'm no longer asking for that. I just wanted to let you know that I made a mistake as a human being, or possibly my computer made a mistake, it really doesn't matter. But your systems will not acknowledge that. This system we live in, corporate capitalism, of which your Virgin Corporation is part of, is inhumane and unsustainable. The time will come when we will be human again, in proper contact with one another, and I hope Virgin realize that sometime in the near future. All the very best to the workers in Virgin, but not to the corporation and the system you work for. I got the letter back today, and they said that they will get back to me in 20 working days.
We are here at the 2 Degrees Festival for the 3rd time. This probably means that the first time we came in 2009 preaching against climate change didn't work. Back then, we destroyed our EasyJet airplane tickets from Liverpool to Dubrovnik and slow travelled there instead as part of the performance. Then the second time we came talking about so-called austerity cuts and climate change in 2011, and that didn't work either. Now we're here again. 3rd time lucky. Let's hope it works this time and Art Admin and Co can solve climate change by the end of this festival.
What's that? Tomorrow?
No, it's today.
In 2009 and 2011, we were paid £500 for our failed performances. This time, the money has gone up to €2,500. Gary, you haven't signed any contract, so you should be going to get anything.
I don't know. I think it's just about sending an invoice. Actually, 2 separate invoices. One for €2,500 commissioning fee and one for €500 fee here.
And why is our admin fee being calculated in euros? What's the scheme? Is Mark expecting us to travel? We are funded by the Imagine 2020 Art and Climate Change and 11 European performing arts venues and festivals that explore causes and effects of climate change.
Why are we being paid in euros? So it does mean we will to travel around Europe.
Maybe.
Again. Can I have some of that money for the new Xbox One instead?
What's euros? Can I have some crisps?
Email says that euros will be transferred to pounds and €2,500 commissioning fee is for us to pay for our time working out logistics with other families. Okay, let's have a chat with Mark later over a beer and persuade him that we do want to travel around Europe preaching the dangers of climate change.
But see, the audience is needed a bit of background story here. So back in January, what happened? We got this really exciting email from Mark about a commission for Imagine 2020 across 11 different European art centres and festivals and lasting 2 years. And we were that excited until we realized it is about climate change and we can't really travel around and preach about climate change. So we settled for setting up a network of activist families across Europe instead.
You can't fly around Europe burning fossil fuel and telling everyone else not to. That's stupid.
But it would be much better and more fun to travel ourselves and not let others take the fame.
Yeah, let's train travel across Europe with Europe. Can I speak on the table again?
Oh God.
Anyway, our piece is a response to the Great Transition, written by the New Economics Foundation back in 2009, incidentally, when we first started slow travelling. The money is high this time, we better deliver. Pressure's on, kids. Before we get started on our delivery of excerpts from the Great Transition, we need to make absolutely sure that the audiences know what the Great Transition is. Many of you will already know, we know. But just to work with those who have wandered in off the street looking for a fair trade coffee, the Great Transition is a document, in our words, that seeks to outline how we may move from a fossil fuel addicted economy which reproduces global scale injustice to an economy of people before profit that reproduces social and environmental justice.
Would the audience please say, woo, each time you hear the words Great Transition? Okay, the Great Transition. Woo! I can't hear you. One more time.
The Great Transition is a document that some clever economists wrote which proposes how the UK and the world would change the way we live and stop catastrophic climate change.
What from the time we live?
Oh, Sid, be quiet now. I'll explain when you're a bit older. Gary, shouldn't we tell the audiences about some responses we've had to the Great Transition?
Oh yes, 2 dads responded. And I just happen to have their responses here, the edited version. Hi, Gary and Lena. Thanks for sending this through. I'm happy to perform all types of environmental measures in and around the home. I load up my car with glass and then drive 5 miles to the recycling centre. I buy loads of stuff at the supermarket, but take care to reuse my plastic bags. I get rid of all the old light bulbs and buy a load of new ones that are energy efficient, etc., etc. These acts are all important for me to perform to some kind of imagined audience. Not sure who exactly, but probably myself most of all, or perhaps my great-great-grandchildren in some torrid Terminator-style future. These kinds of domestic performances help me to feel that I'm a pretty good kind of person, but I think do little to help the broader transition that this document, The Great Transition, is calling for. And I think, deep down, performances actually... Oh, sorry, I've missed my line. And I think, deep down, I know when I'm doing these performances that I'm faking it. Indeed, it may be that these performances actually hinder the cause of broader change by displacing a broader set of considerations about how my Western lifestyle can be put on a more sustainable and socially equitable footing. Anyway, that's my initial reaction to the document. Not sure if it's in any way useful, but happy to continue the conversation if needed. Great to see you last weekend, and I hope that you and the gang have a decent break over Easter. With all best wishes, Dad 1. Do you want to read Dad 2, Len?
No, you do.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit bored, my voice.
No, it's okay.
I
I have a long bit after. Come on, Gary. Get on with it.
Dad 2. Dear Gary, it's a fascinating document. I feel the report becomes most compelling when it talks about what we can actually do as individuals, e.g. cycle, grow vegetables. But this can't be separated from what governments need to do, e.g. put in place a plan to rapidly decarbonise the economy and hit these targets. I think somehow we have to join the dots. Wouldn't art and performance be the perfect medium to do this? My idea would be to do something that draws attention or joins the dots between and across all the things that people are already doing. A journey, a network, a story, a virtual community, a game, a global conversation, something that acts on those bullet points listed on page 95 to 98, but makes them more visible and countable and significant. Look at what these people are doing, exclamation mark. It seems everyone wants to do something revolutionary that will lead to them being invited to give a TED talk. Ha ha. All best, Dad too.
Well, I think it's good that the founders and organizers know that we've been spreading the word of the Great Transition beyond our brief in London today.
So can we just get on with the reading of the
The excerpts? Yes. We like the part how it all turned out right in the Great Transition. Oh, you're a bit slow now, I'm going to have to do that again. We like the part how it all turned out right in the Great Transition, as it describes a utopian vision of UK society post the Great Transition. Each member of the Institute for the Art and Practice of Dissent at Home have chosen their favourite, or they feel to be most contested, bit from the Great Transition. Great Transition.
And it was the part of the document that we found the easiest to understand for the children and the adults.
It wasn't in fairy tale language though. There we were, back in 2009, as if the four horsemen of the apocalypse were bearing down on us. The global economy was falling apart. We were accelerating towards the cliff edge of catastrophic climate change, and our oil-addicted economies were set to cold turkey as their fossil fuel fix grew much more expensive and harder to get hold of. I remember us at the G20 protests in London for Financial Fuels Day in 2009, and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. We went down with the red one, the war one, or was he black? And Sid was really little, he was 2, and we sang anti-capitalista.
Anti-capitalista. Anti-capitalista.
I miss 2009. Everything seemed possible back then. Everyone was super concerned. Now we all seem to have forgotten our environmental issues. Or is that just in Liverpool?
Well, I don't remember 2009 much. I do remember that the Emergence Summit last year and the writing songs. Stories and music are as old as campfires. For the time we forgot it, but being actively involved in making entertainment made us feel much better than just passively watching others perform. Conversely, the fashion for reality TV talent shows early in the 21st century triggered a widespread revival in people wanting to do things for themselves. So, in any case, we're starting to spend fewer and fewer hours in front of TV. It's now common in pubs, clubs, and in any available hall to find groups of friends showing films they have made on inexpensive, easy-to-use equipment, putting on a wide range of music and performances.
This is life post the Great Transition. Everyone's making home movies and singing and dancing. It's a big party.
Gary, do you want to show your Mini Mundus film? That's a homemade movie.
No, Lena, there's no time. We only have 15 minutes left. We can give people the link afterwards if they ask us nicely.
Well, either way, this is a wonderful family film made in Mini Mundus, Klagenfurt in Austria, miniature world. See, this extract from the Great Transition worries me. While the big increase in the cost of fossil fuel has seen international travel become a much rarer experience, it tends to be much better and longer when we head off on our travels. We slow travel to Dubrovnik, which is my hometown in Croatia, from Liverpool, our resident home, and then we also slow travel to Copenhagen for COP15, which didn't change anything. And just last month, we slow traveled to Klagenfurt for an arts exhibition in Austria.
And we will be showing travelling again across Europe if we persuade Mark to let us carry the message.
You're slow on a pick up there, guys.
No, I'm doing that again. Again across Europe if we persuade Mark to let us carry the message of the Great Transition.
Can we really live without planes, given our transnational family status? Kids, do you like slow travel?
I like it.
I don't. We have to share rooms with randomers.
Yes, it's good to travel and perform in all these different countries.
My turn. And just for the record, I can totally get used to slow travel from the Great Transition. With less time spent working in the formal economy and more flexibility over when we work, the choice is ours. Take the kids to school, go for a run, read a book. With a new focus on real wealth and well-being, previously over-consuming rich countries have now cured most cases of the twin evils of work addiction and unemployment. The huge debts and interest payments that kept us chained to our desks have been designed out of the system by new forms of credit and ownership for land, homes, and other big ticket items. Because we're more content, having more time for ourselves, friends, and family, we need less income. We need less income too, for the false consumerist promise of buying happiness.
I have a said man at Ada. I want to read my name.
Come on, Sid.
Streets are safe for children to play in with so tiny coffee and many towns have
Well done, Sid. Well done. Is this it then?
Well, I think so. We won't tell them that proposition to stroll around in the early evening like they do in Italy or Croatia, where I come from, is the most preposterous peacocking. I grew up in this culture, I know about it. You know what I'm talking about? Just as people are happier to go out more locally during the day because towns have become more pleasant places to be, the same is true at night. And in countries like Italy, in the early evening, people of all ages take to strolling around town just for the sake of it.
Sure. And also, the whole great revaluing, I think that needs a bit more work. How do we get rid of our capitalistic subjectivities? The Great Transition, oh come on, the Great Transition happens here, now, on the ground, with family, friends, strangers, randomers, and the way we think. Lena, shall we destroy the Virgin ticket in the name of the Great Transition? Or shall we give it to someone who wants to go back to Liverpool in about half an hour?
So, if you want to go to Liverpool on 1507 train, and you need to have a family rail card. No? Otherwise, yeah, come on, should we destroy this in the name of the Great Transition? Okay. Yeah, do it. Just rip it. There you are. Rip the tickets. I hope they're the right ones.
Check it first, lads. Jesus.
There you are. Go on. Destroy the
End of Virgin Trains, beginning of the People's Trains.
Gabriel is full of.
Can we go travelling on the People's Train all around Europe to get network of activist families for the great transition? Going. Can we, please?
Yes, can we?
Yeah, come on, it'll be a good laugh as long as I can skip school.
But we are off now across Europe, across the sites of Imagine 2020 to recruit families for the Great Transition. We will go travel and hand other families these flags to wave and get them to set up their own eco-anarchist communist schools and give them the script to read and write their own, because everyone has to do it on their own now. We will come back in 2 years. I hope our son will have another 2 Degrees Festival in 2 years, if they haven't had enough of us, to introduce you all to the new families for the Great Transition. Lead us in song.
Okay, children, hand out the flags to people and get them to join in with waving. Don't choose people are very shy. Wave them. Anyone got mine? Wave them, wave them. Now, as we began with a dirty limerick, we're going to end with a collective sing-song. I'll sing the main line and you sing the answer, okay? Now, the answer is, of course we fucking can.
You can't use that language if you want to get families on board. Tone it down a bit.
Okay? Of course we freaking can. Everybody, of course we freaking can. Okay, good. Now, this is the song and then you come in with the line. You'll get the tune, I hope. It's okay. We go. Can we make the great transition? Can we make the great transition? Can we make the great transition? Of course we freaking can. One more time. Can we make the great transition? Can we make the great transition? Can we make the great transition? Of course we freaking can. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Start the up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Go on, guys, let's start these up.
No, this
Oh,
one
wait.
not
Wait.
mine.
I've got to stop sending you guys emails. Every time I do it, I'm not going to
You always have to be careful what you say.